This is the third game of a three-game road trip for the Hornets, who are currently mired in a three-game losing streak. Byron Scott in his fourth season with the Hornets, previously the head coach of the New Jersey Nets, taken to the finals 2 times. Armstrong will start in place of the ill Tyson Chandler, Stojakovic, Wes Peterson, and Paul. Mike D'Antoni, now faced with making a blockbuster trade for Shaquille O'Neal work. He will try to get Shaq to fit in. Of course, he will not be playing tonight. He will then be going for the first time without Shawn Marion, meaning that Diaw will be back in the starting lineup. 14th time he started this year. Stoudemire, Bell, along with Steve Nash. Let's check the Toyota moving forward keys to the game. Toyota moving forward, and with those, here's Eddie Johnson.
One and done. That means get to the defensive glass. Shaq's not here yet. Can't count on him. You know, you have to rebound the basketball. They will attack the glass, especially with Tyson Chandler. Make Chris Paul that is, a scorer. You don't want him to find his teammates early. He is very good at finding his teammates, and then in the fourth quarter, he decides to take over. I say make him score the basketball big time.
The three officials are Greg Willard, Tony Brown, and Derek Richardson, as Chris Paul going to his first All-Star game, and Steve Nash is 6th. Steve Kerr earlier at the press conference explained why the Suns made the trade for Shaquille O'Neal.
I think in some ways it was a reaction to looking at things over the course of the season and seeing that when we struggled, it was because we had to double team down on the post frequently when we played against all the big players in the West, and there are a lot of them.
And the Suns are very encouraged about their medical staff working with Shaquille earlier today. He's had some trouble with the hip, and Eddie, they saw abundant improvement right away.
Well, the medical staff here is very good. I mean, it's evident by what Grant Hill is doing. I mean, here's a guy that showed tremendous flexibility after they work with him. So they understand. Look at Amari Stoudemire. Here's a guy that's had a few knee surgeries, and yet he's still jumping and moving as well as he did as a rookie. So Shaq has to be encouraged to know that this medical staff is top-notch.
Phoenix Suns broadcasts are made available in high definition by Verizon Wireless. Call your cable or satellite provider for HD information. Stunning HD here for the Purple Palace. And so, New Orleans has lost 3 in a row, but they've also beaten the Suns in the first 2 meetings this year. Steve Nash or distributor Boris Diaw in the starting lineup. Once this all shakes out, they'll be bringing Diaw back off the bench again as Bell, who started out 0 for 5 Monday night, misses his first shot.
Yeah, but, you know, he's going to have to really concentrate on shooting that ball tonight. I mean, without Shawn Marion, without another body out there, the Suns can't worry about confidence.
David West having his finest season as an end result, named to the All-Star team for the first time, overshoots that one. This New Orleans team had a 9-game winning streak, and then all of a sudden, Eddie, they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, but you expect it. I mean, every team goes through it. The All-Star game is coming up. This team, they're not used to winning this many games this fast, and you expect a letdown.
And here's Grant Hill, nicely done. Fine pass from Boris Diaw. Grant Hill now, his versatility on defense going to have to come up with Shawn Marion gone.
Yeah, and I think it will, no doubt about it. He will answer the challenge. It's just good to see him getting healthy. I mean, he has really not been 100% since he's been back.
David West backing in. Diaw tries to get the charge. No call. Out it comes now to Nash. Steve Nash, the #1 assist guy in the league, and the #2 guy is Chris Paul. And Nash ducks inside, and the Suns are up 4-0.
Well, they're so afraid of that 2-man game with Nash and Amari. They jumped too soon, and Nash took advantage of it.
Chris Paul, as Steve Nash said, having an MVP-type year. I mean, he is first in steals, second in assists. He's just been brilliant. Here is Morris Peterson, who's averaged over 21 points a game in the first 2 meetings with Phoenix.
Yeah, and he hurt the Suns big time in that first victory.
And all of a sudden, Amari clears sailing to the basket. Nobody got back on that play.
And I think we'll see more of that with Amari running the floor with Shaquille O'Neal in the lineup here, because he's not going to be pressured to battle big guys and hang around the rim.
Paul not able to get it. Armstrong tries to follow tip, cannot. Nash back the other way. This New Orleans team is off to a great start. They are 32-15, second best record in the West. Nash misses wide left. Off it comes to Paul. Paul in his third year out of Wake Forest, coming into the league, the fourth pick in the draft that year. Into the corner to Stojakovic, who's healthy this year, and what a difference that has made.
Yeah, he's the guy I'm afraid of when you think about this team, because he has been below the radar, and if he catches fire, they are extremely difficult.
Paul now feeds it inside, distributes the ball to West, and West takes over. And again, Diao trying to get a charge, but no whistle. 6-4 Suns.
Force is in for a long night. I mean, this guy is as tough as they come down in the paint.
Well, David West used to say is the most underrated player along with Marion in the league, but West, you can't say that anymore. He's going to the All-Star game. Diao has a mismatch on Paul, and he backed in on him. And finally, Chris Paul had to commit the foul. He had nothing he could do to stop Diao on that backward movement.
And Boyd's really close to that 5-second violation, whereas they only give you 5 seconds to back a guy down. And Boris had to be extremely close.
That's that old Charles Barkley rule, right?
Yep.
6-4, the Suns up at the 9:16 mark here of the first quarter.
But that wasn't fair because Charles took 10 seconds.
Well, Charles would tell you it was 5, but it was 10. And it comes now to Diao again. He's got that mismatch with Paul. Out it comes to Steve Nash. Nash, a three from outside. Count it! And Nash proud to own the three-point zone, and Fulton Holmes donates another $150 to Suns charity.
People wonder, well, how good is this going to benefit Steve Nash or Shaquille O'Neal? There's a reason right there. It'll allow him to make that three-point opportunity a lot out of that post-up from Shaquille O'Neal.
And Eddie Nash came in here 5th in the league in three-point shooting, but Stojakovic answered at the other end. It's a two-point game. Nash out to Diao. Diao is going to measure, not able to get the shot. He'll try to follow, went up high, and they're going to call a foul on Grant Hill. Whoa! It looked to me like, if anything, he was undercut a little on that play, and they call the foul, and Mike D'Antoni's furious.
And Grant had the inside position. And I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I see he jumped into the contact of Morris Peterson, but if anything, that's a no call. That shouldn't be a call either way.
And so Grant Hill picks up a very dubious foul here in the early going. Suns up 9-7. Chris Paul averaging 20 points a game, 10.8 assists. Off to Stojakovic, who earlier this year hit 10 threes in a game. He backs in on Bell, follow away by Peja. And the rebound tipped up by Hill, saved by Nash. Good effort by the Suns. Suns do not want to have this series with New Orleans determined tonight, down 0-2.
You're right. I mean, you have to send a message, and this is a great opportunity for the Suns to do that with New Orleans, knowing they are shorthanded, because that's what San Antonio did to the Phoenix Suns the other night. Without Parker, they won. That's a psychological advantage, and the Suns are in a position to do the same thing.
That's a good point. Tyson Chandler, he was expected to play, and the last minute was a scratch. He's back in the hotel with flu, and Tyson Chandler's been wearing people out in the rebounding department. As Bell with the three, and Roger Bell proud to own the three-point zone.
Well, he's averaging 15 and 15 against the Suns, Tyson Chandler, and he is definitely a guy that should have been considered for an all-star berth. He has been playing excellent basketball.
With Eddie Johnson, I'm Gary Bender. We welcome our NBA TV viewing audience here from the Purple Palace in the Valley of the Sun. Peterson misses. Suns up 12-7. Off it comes now to Nash. Nash trying to go inside. Peterson's on top of him to strip the ball. Comes it back now the other way with Chris Paul. Paul had a brilliant game here the last time. He gets it to Hilton Armstrong, starting in place of the ill Tyson Chandler, and he gets his first 2 points.
And Armstrong's a guy that they really have high hopes for. You know, very athletic, energetic, and seems to be grasping the NBA game.
First round pick out of Connecticut, and we've got a foul inside. It's going to be going against Armstrong. Armstrong picking up his first, side out to the Suns. And Shaquille O'Neal, we have talked so much about it today. He's up there and getting his pregame meal out of the way, and there's no timeline on him, Eddie, as to when he will don a uniform.
Well, I think that's important, because you want him to step on the floor physically ready to go, because if you don't, then you enhance the situation of him being out a little bit longer. So I agree with that.
Amari missing from outside. D'Antoni was talking about how that trade will help Amari. He's been able to shoot the ball well outside. He'll get a lot of chances now as the ball wheels around to Armstrong. Blocked! Stoudemire with his 6th block of the year. Here is Diaw at the other end, and the Suns are up 14-9.
And there's an example of what Shaq would bring. I mean, people wonder, say it would slow the Suns down. How? If you get a block shot or a quick rebound and kick it out, there's a 3-on-2 fast break. I think it will enhance it big time.
Well, you remember the Lakers, Showtime Lakers. They had a big center they were able to run.
Yeah, I never saw Kareem run the lane.
Here's Stojakovic. Oh, is he a pure shooter? He might be as good a shooter as there is in the league.
Yeah, and again, I think Byron Scott has to be happy every time he sees Peja knock those down because he has been under the radar for this team.
Well, he missed the final 69 games last year with back problems. Inside it goes to Amari. Went up, goes twice, and this time he, with a thunderous finish, makes it 16-12.
You know, I'm so envious because he makes the rim look like a Nerf hoop.
You can see the Suns have 10 points in the paint here in the early going. And all 5 of the starters have scored in this game. That ball intended for Nash, and it'll be off of West. Suns ball. And so Stat with a block, and then they finish at the other end. So the Suns have come out here with all the distractions of today's trade with Shaquille O'Neal and have had very good focus.
Well, that's what you have to do. I mean, and it's not hard to refocus because this is a team that the Suns are more than likely to face in the playoffs. I mean, the Hornets have shown that they are not going away. I mean, they have beaten good teams. I saw them a few weeks ago go down to San Antonio and not only beat them, but beat them up physically. And so I think it's pretty obvious that this team is going to be a player come playoff time.
Eddie, to back up what you said, they had 7 straight wins where they won by 14 or more points. As Stoudemire misses, the follow by Roger Bell. Excellent job by Roger following the missed shot.
Roger's showing some strength inside after getting the rebound.
Roger Bell coming off of a 24-point game. When he scores 20 points or more, the Suns have won 7 games. Ball outside, picked up by Nash. What a matchup between these two All-Stars. Stojakovic, and Stojakovic is off and moving here tonight, and that's not good news for the Suns.
Well, he's 6'9", too, and I don't think people realize how tall he is, so he can get his shot off on anyone.
Deflected, got away from Amari. Back it comes the other way. Chris Paul, so creative. He's listed at 6 foot. He'll go in the middle low and distribute the ball as well as anybody in the paint.
Well, and you see he's not aggressive early. I mean, he had an opportunity to get to the rim, but he is really set to set his teammates up so mentally he can get them in the game. Then he takes over.
Here's Peterson from outside. He misses the 3. Skinner battling for the rebound. It'll be off of Brian Skinner. You know, you go to Chris Paul. He played at Wake Forest. He played for the late Skip Prosser. And Skip Prosser, during that time, gave him tapes of Steve Nash to study. So a lot of the things he does, he watched on tape and watched the 2-time MVP.
Well, I wish more young players would do just that. I mean, because that's how you learn to play the game, from the best.
Paul is going to be one of the best, if he isn't already, as he brings it off now to David West, the other All-Star. They'll be hosting that in the Big Easy. Here comes West, running one-hander. He draws a foul. That'll be on Stoudemire. West is 6'9", 240-pounder. Big, strong guy, but he can shoot it outside as well.
A lot of head fakes. That's what West is all about. I mean, he gets you off your feet. He can get the contact. He'll shoot the 15-footer. And that's why the guy's an all-star, Gary. I mean, he has earned the right to get that recognition from his consistency.
His consistency is the thing they say first about David West. Well, you've got now a couple of teammates that are going to be very impressive, as you're going to have Shaquille O'Neal and Steve Nash. Between the two of them, 3 times MVP.
Yeah, and if you look down the list, you will see Magic Johnson and Kareem. And Magic, you know, he was paired with Kareem when Kareem was at the end of his career. So, you know, when people start talking about age and, you know, can Shaq continue to play and dominate, I think rejuvenation will put you in position to do just that. And Steve Nash is the one guy that can rejuvenate you.
Well, and not only that, he's become very relevant now. I mean, all of a sudden, he's got something to play for.
Yeah, and that's important. Every player wants to prove other people wrong. And Now he's away from the Miami Heat that had a team that really couldn't get him good situations to score. Now he's with a team that can knock down shots. He can command a double team, or they had to single cover him because of the threat of the Suns killing them from outside.
Gennaro Pargo's in the ball game along with Paul in the backcourt. Paul finds an open. He's able to hit it. Also in for the first time is Melvin Ely. Ely did not play against the Suns the last time they were. He was on the injury list with a broken eye socket. Here's Nash inside, rejected. I think that's Ely. They got a piece of it. It'll be off the Suns. Hornets ball. And the Hornets with a 20-18 lead as they have gone on an 11-4 run in the last 2:30 in their first lead of the ball game. Here's Pargo coming off a 24-point game the last time. Ely in low, and Ely, the big body at 6'10", able to make that one work.
Yeah, and has skills. I mean, just really hasn't gotten the chance to play consistently.
And Barbosa, who had 30 points in the game Monday, hits the three, and Barbosa proudly add to his repertoire that three-point shot. And Bolton Holmes proud to write on another $150 check to Suns Charities.
Well, we all know Leandro can ride a wave. He can go 3 or 4 games and put up huge numbers. Let's hope tonight it will continue to happen.
Barbosa was 5 of 9 behind the line in that win on Monday night, and Paul with a 3. And Paul now, who has averaged 24.5 against the Suns in the first 2 games, already with 7 tonight. Nash, follow away, got it. What a matchup this is between those two guys.
And everything with Steve is about spacing. If you back off of him, he will make you pay. If you get up on him, then he'll make your teammate pay.
Chris Paul coming off of maybe his poorest game of the year. He only had 6 points and 6 assists, shooting 3 of 11. But he's come out of the shoot tonight. Tipped out to Bell. Nash back the other way. Nash a 3. And Stojakovic tips it to himself. Look at Bell. Bell has really been tough inside on the boards.
Yeah, hanging around the basket. A lot of times the ball will fall to you because of it.
So Roger Bell realizing that gonna have to pick it up without Sean Marion trying to fill the gap inside. There's a steal attempt by Pargo to Barbosa. Barbosa down the middle. Everybody was flailing at him, trying to stop him, and they could not.
Well, you can't hit him hard because he's past you before you even blink your eyes.
And so we've got a break in the action. 1:30 to go in this first quarter. The Hornets have been a tough team for the Suns, and they find themselves down here 25-23. It's one thing that a lot of people may not know is you had a shot of Shaq just a moment ago. Is what a great teammate he is. He's got a magnetic personality, good locker room guy.
I've always said, even just watching him from afar, that I thought that he was one of the best and well-liked players in the NBA. I mean, you know, he's a guy that really doesn't embarrass players during the game. He doesn't embarrass officials. I mean, he just goes about his business. He has a fun-loving attitude off the court. So those are all things I feel like will help the Suns as they continue in their quest to try to get that championship.
And he'll be a mentor to the guy you just saw, Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, no doubt.
Shaq was his boyhood hero, idol, if you will. And he's getting to move to the power forward spot where he wanted to play anyway. Here is Paul from way outside. Ely digs it out. Backs in, little jump hook over Brian Skinner. Hill couldn't control it, and then Pargo cleans up inside. And so the Hornets staying with it, and the Hornets with a 2-point lead.
Well, it's no surprise that Pargo is on the floor, and he's getting more opportunities than Bobby Jackson. I mean, Pargo is a bona fide, big-time scorer in limited minutes, and he has been huge.
Yep, 24 the last game. He's had 2 24-point games. DL spin move, nicely done by 3D. And that's some of that aggressiveness, Eddie, that you want to see.
And if David West is going to guard him, he has to make him defend, because a good offensive player will just rip you apart if he doesn't play defense on the other end.
36 seconds to go in this first quarter. Here's Paul, who's gotten off to a good start. 7 points, 4 assists. Not able to get it. West inside. They're tough on the boards. West goes up, and they're going to call an offensive foul on David West. He can't believe it.
Well, you rarely will see that call. I mean, he had inside position, and he rooted Boris out. And just a shove to the chest, and the reaction from Boris Diaw got the call.
And so West picks up his second personal foul. Suns now will go for the last shot of this quarter. About a second difference between the game and the shot clock. Fargo, who played with Joe Johnson at the University of Arkansas, putting some pressure on Barbosa. He just goes by him, blew by him, inside, Fono tipped away. Out they come quickly down to Paul. Paul, that'll count if it goes, and it does. It's a three.
He had pressure behind him, and he just still shot it in.
And Diao tries to answer the other way, but Paul really finishes this first quarter off with a flurry, a three-pointer from outside. Changes now. Bobby Jackson comes into the ball game. Also in the game a moment ago was Ryan Bowen. Here's Eli. Amari stayed with him, and he traveled with the ball. You know, Shaquille said to Steve Kerr, the Suns general manager, I've got something to prove. I want to win that 5th NBA ring.
Well, and that's the one thing. You don't get to the NBA level or the pro level in any sport without having pride and ways to motivate yourself. And, you know, he has been a guy that has remotivated himself time and time again.
Barbosa in the corner. The Suns having a tough battle here, down by 3 as we start the second quarter. That pass intended for Amari. Ryan Bowen got a piece of it. From the corners, DJ Strawberry, the rookie who's come in now. He'll get more playing time with Marcus Banks headed to Miami. And there is Strawberry rewarding Mike D'Antoni.
Well, and I think Strawberry's confidence will shoot up even more because now he knows he's needed. You know, it's an opportunity for him to get in the rotation to show his defense's ability on the floor.
Ryan Bowen gets it off to Rasul Butler. Butler missing from the corner. You know, Strawberry's a good defensive player, and he's had some good moments. Off it comes to Diao. Diao will crash inside to Amari. Amari goes up, and he's fouled by Eli. Count it, and a chance at a three-point play.
And the penetration of Boris Diaw allows Amari Stoudemire to just stand there and wait for his defender to just peek and try to help, and gives him an avenue to get to the rim and get an and one. And we've always said, Gary, Amari Stoudemire is probably the best finisher in the NBA.
And he does it in every variety imaginable. I mean, sometimes I don't think he takes the same shot twice in a game.
Well, again, I think what he's really improved on, and maybe watching Steve Nash, is his ability to keep his balance when he gets hit.
Yep.
I mean, you never really see him falling backwards. He's always able to keep his balance and focus on the rim.
Here's Bowen. He's not a good shooter. Misses. Rebound is cleared by Grant Hill.
I think the ball knows it, too.
It's like a golf ball, right on the golf ball. On the golf course, as Hill misses, Fargo comes up with a rebound. Fargo is one of those guys who can light it up, and he's going to pull up with a 2, and he did just that.
Instant offense. He really is. And, you know, they get Bobby Jackson to play that role, and Bobby Jackson's not playing that role. He's on the floor right now, but Fargo is the dangerous one.
We're tied at 32 into the cutting. Stoudemire went to the left hand, and Eli fouled him there. Stoudemire going to make his 3rd All-Star appearance in 4 years. He is the guy who is leading all centers in scoring and will soon move to the power forward spot. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, official airline of the NBA and your Phoenix Suns. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. Now, let me ask you, Eddie, with Amari moving to the power forward spot, will that maybe help him stay out of foul trouble, that he's gotten some fouls early in games?
I think so. I think it will enhance his overall game because, you know, he's picked up fouls early. It's changed the way he plays and attacks the rim. And defensively as well, it's going to help him because now he can really take chances weak side, block a lot of shots because Shaq will be guarding the on-the-ball strong side guy. And I think it's going to really allow him to take off even more. I would be disappointed if his stats did not improve.
Bobby Jackson, who's a fearless guy when he plays out there, to Bowen. Bowen ducks in. He could have gotten a travel call there. Got his own miss, puts it up. Wasn't pretty, but Bowen stayed with it. He's going to the free throw line. And Stoudemire picks up his 2nd foul. Talking of foul difficulty, this is really pretty close to a travel.
Boy, he did travel. I mean, if that's not a travel, tell me what is. I mean, so, and then that's what happens. That gives him that opportunity to get that 2nd chance, and he gets the foul.
He's from Iowa. That's the Iowa 2-step. As a 2nd foul on Stoudemire sends Bowen to the free throw line. Bowen is the guy's only shooting 58% from the free throw line. You look at this New Orleans team, They don't score a lot of points, but boy, they played some good defense. They've held 11 opponents this year to 85 points or less.
And that's because they can control tempo. Byron Scott will call a lot of plays, and so they're going to slow the game up, and then again give Tyson Chandler credit for giving that second opportunity.
There's a little two-man game, Amari to DJ Strawberry. We've not seen that. And we may see more of it now.
Well, before the end of the year, I really believe Strawberry will continue to play a huge role, and more so defensively than anything. I mean, this guy can straight out stop him.
He had an NBA-ready defense coming to the league. Jackson misses. Dial comes out with it. Suns up tempo. Dial gives it to Strawberry. He double pumps, and that could be goaltending. I think it is. They slap the backboard. They're going to give the basket to Strawberry.
And the young man knows he loves points. He heard the slap of the backboard, and right away, he understands the rules. He was like, oh, no, that counts.
Well, Strawberry coming into tonight, this is his 16th appearance. He had 2 points the other night. His high for the season, Eddie, is 8 points. And Strawberry already has 6 and doesn't get number 7. Armstrong comes down to the rebound. Bobby Jackson's been in the league a long time. He's really had a lot of problems with injuries as of late. But this guy has always been tough.
But a guy that stayed on the floor early in his career, a lot of times you pay the price later in your career, and it seems to be the problem with Bobby Jackson right now.
Pargo hits again. Pargo the other night was 9 of 14 in that 24-point game. He had started 5 and coming off the bench tonight, and he is coming quickly, scored 6 points in 7 minutes.
Well, and that's what happens. When you come off the bench and you understand your role and you're used to it, you can catch fire and last for a few games.
How pretty was that? That's almost ballet-type movement that time by Amari Stoudemire.
Well, his wingspan is as good as anybody in the league, and once he gets it above his shoulders, lights out. But Pargo is saying lights on.
Well, Pargo is coming off of that game the other night. He's feeling it right now, Eddie. Being a shooter like you were, you know what that's like.
He's got the green light. Byron Scott has allowed him to do that role and do it well, and he's playing extremely good right now. But it also helps to play against Chris Paul every day.
Yeah, that's right. Dial just left Bowen on the floor as he went in for that basket a moment ago. That's going to be offensive interference by Hilton Armstrong. Suns ball, 8:11 to go. Well, that was a beautiful move by Barbosa, ducking inside. He has 7 points. Suns up 43-37. Biggest lead of the game. Out it comes now to Pargo. Pargo's gotten off the mark very quickly in this game with 8 points. Rasul Butler gets it off to Pargo. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Desperation, he rebound inside Butler. He goes up, doesn't get, but that may be the 3rd foul on Stoudemire. Nope. They're going to call it instead on Boris Diaw, I believe.
If he had called that on Amari Stoudemire, I think Amari would have got a technical foul as well as Mike D'Antoni, because he was just on top of the ball trying to stay away from contact.
Well, he did. It'll go on Diaw. I tell you, the Hornets are good offensive rebounders. They have 5 already. Fans, Bacardi wants you to enjoy tonight's game. If you choose to drink, please drink responsibly. Bacardi rum, established in 1862. So they're going to bring Chris Paul back into the game. And Pargo, who really did a nice job, 8 points in 8 minutes, will sit down.
Really did. I mean, he helped them. I mean, that's what you want as a coach, to put a player in that at least keeps you around, to rest your star and just keep you around the basketball game.
Suns up by 4 now. The Suns coming in here 17-5. They've won 11 of the last 13 in the Valley of the Sun. As Barbosa drives inside, the foul before the shot, a blocking foul. And coming in now will be David West. Ryan Bowen will check out.
Leandro Barbosa will challenge your ability to move sideways. I'm telling you, if you can't slide your feet sideways, you shouldn't guard him.
Be a great defensive back, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
In the NFL, I mean, the way he gets around. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Amari's got to launch one and couldn't hit the rim, so the shot clock expires. And New Orleans will get the basketball.
As you get older, the first thing that leaves is your lateral quickness. I used to laugh at myself as I continued to play till I was 40 years old about how I couldn't even move side to side. By the time the signal got to my knees, Gary, they were taking the ball out of bounds. So I understand what Bobby Jackson is going through when he has to guard Leandro Barbosa.
You know, I noticed that your lateral quickness is not real good now.
It's fast when it comes time to get into the kitchen table, but other than that, no.
Up it comes now to Paul. 6:53 to go in this first half. 43-39. Suns trying to win their first game this year against the Hornets. A long shot by Paul from outside, and out it comes to Grant Hill. Hill in the early going with a couple of points, an assist, and a rebound. DJ Strawberry has really done well coming in. That ball deflected out. Suns will have it with 14. Here comes Steve Nash back in along with Raja Bell. Stojakovic will re-enter the game for the Hornets. But Strawberry gets a nice round of applause, as does Barbosa.
Yeah, they both really played well and moved the basketball and kept the Suns' rhythm. And now Steve can come in and continue it, as he always does.
So 13 points between those two guys coming off the bench. Amari goes in, difficult shot. Armstrong got a piece of him. And there's that sideways move, Eddie, that he has really been able to patent in midair.
Well, he's been forced to really put that as a part of his game because of the offensive foul. I mean, he's gotten so many offensive fouls by taking guys head on. He's just learned to adjust his body and just contort and still be able to finish. That's the key part, though. No matter how you can contort, but can you finish it?
Well, DJ Strawberry coming in here with now Marcus Banks out of the picture has done a very good job.
Yeah, you know, he's just been effective, and I think he's sat on the bench and he's watched and he's learned and he's earned his opportunity. He really earned it in training camp by standing out big time, but you know, the chance to play is there for him, and kudos to him. He stood out strong.
So both free throws by Stoudemire makes it 45-39. Amari with 12 points already in the ball game and 6 rebounds. And he has his idol, Shaquille O'Neal, sitting high up here in this ballpark watching. And I can't imagine what's going through Amari's mind. He's going to get to play with him in the not-too-distant future.
You know, I'm sure it's like Christmas.
Christmas in February, as we're going to have a moving screen called against Grant Hill.
Yeah, see, now, what bothers me about that is, you know, the official really bought into that. I mean, first of all, he knew that there's no way in the world Grant Hill's going to knock Chris Paul down, especially because he stopped running. But Chris Paul's getting that protection, Gary.
Grant Hill now switches out on Paul. Inside it goes to West. West, big, strong move. Rebounds his own shot. Blocked by Amari. West just stayed after it. He's relentless inside.
Yeah, and like I said, he's extremely deceptive.
Hill on a pull-up doesn't get it to go. So the Suns find themselves up by 4. 5:37 to go in this first half. As Paul comes into the offensive end, 5.5 minutes to go here in this first half. Very well played game. 45-41, the Suns of the lead, shooting 52%. New Orleans at 43. West ducks inside. Oh, beautiful spin move to the left hand. You know, he didn't play in the last game against the Suns here, and they still beat the Suns in that game. And West tonight already has 6 points and 4 rebounds.
Yeah, he was very tough down low. And, you know, you have to find a way to make him catch the ball a little bit further out.
Raja Bell with the 3 ball from outside. The Suns 3 of 9 as the Suns are coming off of a big night where they were able to hit 16 threes Monday in their last win. Bell was 2 of 3 tonight after going 7 of 12 behind the line on Monday. Stojakovic, boy, I tell you, he is something. When he hits those shots, Eddie, the net barely ripples.
You know, and a back injury is extremely tough. And he is coming back from back surgery, and he is starting to find his groove.
He's a big difference maker for this team from a year ago. Amari had that ball blocked on the way up by Armstrong. Armstrong then comes down to the rebound. Chris Paul in the early going has 4 assists to go with his 10 points. Stojakovic putting it on the floor. Back out to Paul. The Hornets last year won only 39 games. They've already won 32 at this juncture of the season. Off to a great start. Bobby Jackson with a 3.
That really helped his confidence there, no doubt about it. And Chris Paul's one of those guys. You hit one, he's going to make sure you get another shot at it.
48 all. Diao ducks inside, finishes. And that is the kind of play that Mike D'Antoni's looking for from Boris Diaw.
Well, and David West is he's not known as a lockdown defender. So if he's going to stand around and try to score and abuse you, you have to make him pay as well.
Diaw's hit 4 of 6 for 8 points. And it comes to David West. West kicks it out to Paul. They leave him wide open. And he makes him pay with another 3.
He has so much confidence right now. And anytime you're being talked about as an MVP, it just elevates your game even more. And you're talking about he is at the highest concentration level you can be at. You can't allow him to get open shots.
Well, he's hit 3 of 5 behind the line here in the early going. He is the real deal. That ball deflected out by Stojakovic. Suns will have it with 9 to shoot. Barbosa's going to come back into the lineup. Grant Hill will exit. Jackson comes out. Morris Peterson replaces him. The Suns, well, the second most road victories in the NBA, only behind Orlando, as they have 17, Orlando with 19, but the Hornets are a good road team too, 16-7. They've won 8 of their last 10. Last year, Eddie, they didn't get but 15 wins all year on the road.
Yeah, again, I think their confidence level is getting better. They don't have the swagger of a team that's surprised at where they are. I think they have a lot of confidence, and it's going to help them.
And West is one of the reasons. That time couldn't get the shot to go. Good defense inside by the Suns. Steve Nash, thus far, has taken 7 shots. Hit 3, the turnover. Paul comes up with it. Paul to Peterson. And there's Paul again, and that is vintage Steve Nash. The way he did that. 10-2 run now by the Hornets. They're up by 3.
This has been a game of runs.
Radujel Stojakovic on him. Amari now. He's very good with this shot. He's really honed it, but doesn't get this one to go. It's one of the reasons they're so excited to move him to the power forward as he's extended his shooting range. Paul goes in. That's goaltending. But Paul again just weaving his way in, showing why everybody is raving about this third-year man from Wake Forest.
Well, you can tell that he has watched tapes of Steve Nash because he is probably the second best in the league at keeping his dribble in the paint.
And there's another steal. Paul comes up with a steal. And Paul is going to go to the hole. And all of a sudden now, the biggest lead of the game, 7 for the Hornets. 57-50, and this first half is not closing the way the Suns want it.
You have Tebow, you need to rewind that back and see how quick he picked that pass off. Not many guys can pick a bounce pass off like that going laterally.
They're trying to get the ball out of Steve's hands. Diao, good look, can't get it. Tipped over, and Stojakovic comes up with it. So all of a sudden now the Hornets are starting to get some breathing room in this game.
Yeah, and that's something the Suns don't want to happen. You don't want the Hornets going in at halftime feeling real good about themselves and beating the Suns without their bona fide, I think should have been an all-star, in Tyson Chandler on the floor.
That's right, and this team has lost 3 in a row, and they're trying to end that in a hurry tonight. Here's West running one-hander, shot clock expires, and right now New Orleans could do nothing wrong. Barbosa the other way, and they just could not get back in time.
And they scored that basket in 2 seconds. I mean, that is unbelievable.
Barbosa now with 9 points in the game. Well, we see it, but we still don't believe it. We see it night after night by LB. Paul with Nash on him. Nash having to work very hard on defense to stay with this guy. Stojakovic dumps it into West. West goes immediately inside. Fouled. Diao committing the foul, and West right now is just pounding it inside for this Hornets team.
Yeah, that foul going to go on Amari Stoudemire. That's its 3rd.
So Stoudemire with 3 has to sit down with 40 seconds left here in the first half. West will go to the line. David West, a very good free throw shooter, 84%. This guy's had 19-plus points in 14 of the last 20 games, and already tonight has 11 points.
They don't have a huge low-post presence. He is their guy, and Tyson Chandler's a cleanup player, so you know, he has a lot of ability to roam in that paint, and then you have one of the greatest passers in the game, and Chris Paul finding you makes it easy.
They are for real. This New Orleans team is going to be right there at the end. They will be in the playoffs, and they will be a handful. 61-52. 30 seconds left in the first half. Barbosa, long 3, got it, and Barbosa, proud to end the to own the three-point zone. And Fulton Holmes with another $150 check to Suns Charities. That was a big three.
It really was. I mean, it's great for the Suns' psyche, and now it will add to it if they can get a stop here.
19 seconds left. Paul outside. He has 19 points in the game. Barbosa picking him up. 8 on the shot clock. Off to West. Brian Skinner trying to track him. 3 seconds. West with a left hand. With only 4.5 seconds left, he scores. Diaw almost traveled as Paul jumped out on him. Off it comes Barbosa. That will not count. And the Hornets really finished strong in this quarter. Stoudemire with 12. He has 3 fouls. Barbosa with 12. Steve Nash in the first half only 3 of 7 after shooting 3 of 10 in the game Monday night. But Chris Paul has come in here, Eddie, and he's something special.
Yeah, and I think Steve has to be more aggressive offensively, run Paul off some screens and get him active defensively.
And this guy's been active offensively. David West can't get it, though. Diaw tries to get it, and it'll be off of Boris. Hornets ball. Phoenix Suns broadcasts are made available in high definition by Verizon Wireless. Call your cable or satellite provider for HD information.
I haven't seen West put the ball on the floor going left yet. He'd love to turn back to his left, but he hasn't gone left.
I tell you, this guy is just pure. Stojakovic, 5 of 7 now.
Once you let him catch it, you're not going to block his shot. Again, he's 6'9". He's going to get it off on you quickly, and he is accurate.
He had a career-high 42 points earlier this year. Here's Stoudemire. That's the face-up jumper we were talking about. That is the added asset that he has put together this season.
I don't know if Armstrong can deal with him. I'd like to see the Suns go to Amari a lot this third quarter just to see if he can take advantage.
Here's Armstrong. Tyson Chandler, if you just joined us, could not play tonight. He was felled by the flu bug. So playing a lot is Armstrong. And there's a run out by Grant Hill. And Hill, who has played so well in the last 33 games, he's averaged over 15 points and shot 54%.
Well, and you see what an injury can do. It can really set you back, especially when you're dealing in this high-octane offense. But that particular play, Grant Hill looked like the healthy Grant Hill we've seen all year.
He was out 13 days after that appendectomy. Talking about getting back into a rhythm, and Hill tonight with 4 points. They have 12 fast break points in the game. There's one of the few times Chris Paul didn't execute the way he wanted to. Air ball, shot clock expired.
Yeah, I truly believe. He had 19 points, but I said one of the keys is make him beat you. I don't know if he can beat you by himself. West is a guy they need to get a hold of, and if they could do that, then they're fine.
Here's Steve Nash now trying to take Paul inside, and that's what you were talking about. Move it inside, doesn't get the shot. Armstrong rips it out of there. Hilton Armstrong, a first-round pick in 2006 for this Hornets team. Amari comes out on Paul. They got it in low, and Nash knew he was in trouble inside, reached in, and committed the foul.
Yeah, and, that makes him take the ball out of bounds. And, most times people look at a foul as a negative, but it's a positive until you get to the bonus. If you use them wisely and keep players off the free throw line, then that's your advantage on defense.
New Orleans is 4-2 record-wise against the top 3 teams in the West: Dallas, San Antonio, and the Suns. And tonight you can see why they have done well. Armstrong makes it a 67-59 game. And if you're wondering if the first 2 games that they won was a fluke, well, just watch this. This Hornets team is special, as that's Stoudemire inside.
They really are. Anytime you have a leader like Paul, your game enhances. We've seen it with the Phoenix Suns with Steve Nash for the last 4 years.
West too much on that one. Hilton Armstrong couldn't handle it. Off it comes to Grant Hill. Hill now starting to heat up for the Suns. He has 6 points, 4 of them here in the third quarter. 67-63.
Well, and the Suns here need to take advantage, I think, of the confidence level of the Hornets. They've lost, they've struggled lately, and I think they can take advantage of it.
They have lost 3 in a row after winning 9 straight. Here's Nash all the way to the hole, and all of a sudden, the Suns are within 2.
Isn't he smart? I mean, Paul was baiting him to make the pass to Grant Hill or Raja Bell, and he refused to do it.
And here's Paul taking in a guy who he has worshipped and watched and tried to emulate Steve Nash.
Now he's trying to abuse it. It's not nice.
69-65, New Orleans. 8:55 to go in the third. The Suns on the 6-game homestand, the 4th game thus far. Backing in as Diao into the corner. Now Grant Hill, and Hill trying to get his 3rd straight shot of the half. Cannot.
I don't have a problem with Boris making that pass, but I think early on he's got to make Paul pay. I mean, if he's going to go down there and guard him, then you got to make him pay for that.
Stojakovic, he was bothered as flying by him that time was Roger Bell, and it did something to that shot. I don't know if he got a piece of it or what, but a bad miss by Stojakovic. He doesn't miss very often. Now we have a mismatch. West coming out on Nash. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Into Boris Diaw. They saw the mismatch and went to Diaw.
You got to do it. They keep switching that play. He's got to score. I mean, because if he doesn't, then they're going to keep doing it.
2-point game. The Suns at halftime were down 63-55. Now within 2. Paul dumps it into West. West wheels in. Big, strong guy. Overshot it. Rebound cleared by Diaw.
Yeah, got away with a travel.
And it comes to Amari. A reach-in foul as Armstrong knew he had no chance to get back on that play. Suns have up-tempoed right now. They're starting to pick up that characteristic patented type offense that they love to run.
You know, and when I heard the Shaq rumors, Gary, I was just laughing at home because, you know, I played on running teams. I played on slow-down teams. And one of the biggest things and criticisms out there was like, well, Shaq is going to slow the Suns down. And I'm saying to myself, how could you slow down 4 guys that want to run anyway? I mean, you know, and there's the beauty of it right there. If the Suns force a turnover, you got a 3-on-1. And normally the 3-on-1 is going to involve either Grant Hill, Raja Bell, Leandro Barbosa, and sometimes Amari Stoudemire. And that's the way it's going to be. And it's the beauty of the way that they run the basketball.
People forget that Shaq can get up and down the floor. He's lost weight. Talking to the doctors at halftime, they say weighed in at 324. He was up to 350 for a while.
Yeah.
He's gotten it down, and the doctor, Tom Carter in particular, told me, he said, I was very surprised with his flexibility. I mean, you have no problems with arthritis setting in. He was pleasantly surprised what he saw in the first examination today. And it comes now to West, pull away over Diaw, and Hilton Armstrong cleans up inside.
Amari just mistimed his jump on that one, and Armstrong got a gift.
71-69. Nash outside, orchestrating this play. Mismatch again. Diaw on Paul. Nash pulls up. Beautifully done. And Nash now has started to pick up offensively in double figures with 11.
Well, because Boris was aggressive and went offensively at Paul, the New Orleans Hornets defense started to scramble and allow Steve Nash to get that shot.
You see what they've done in this quarter. 7 of 9 from the field. As an end result, it's tied up. The Suns have evened it up. Trailing by as many as 10 in this game. Mike D'Antoni's crew now starting to really hit on all cylinders. I mean, they are playing very efficient basketball.
Yeah, and the players thought it was a timeout, but the timeout doesn't come yet.
Eli's getting ready to come into the Hornets lineup. They'll bring him in as at the 7:02 mark now. The Suns with Diaw, Nash, Raja Bell, Amari Stoudemire, and Grant Hill, the starting 5 in the game right now. Suns have 3 of their 4 starters in double figures, and Barbosa in double figures off the bench. Here's Nash going in. Paul tries to stay with him. That was a tough shot. Steve thought he was fouled. Paul back the other way. Boy, what a matchup between these 2 guys. You're seeing 2 of the best to ever play in this game. And it comes down to Eli. He horses it in.
That was a tough shot. I mean, he didn't have a great angle at all.
And there's an interception by Peterson. So the Suns have turned it over now 4 times in the game. Paul backing up. After tying it up, the Suns find themselves down by 2. Inside it goes to Eli again. No. Diaw comes down to the rebound. Diaw now with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Stoudemire fouled away. He was bumped by Eli and still made the shot.
Yeah, Gary, I talked about his ability to keep his balance, and you can tell he's been really working on his ability to get stronger in that area.
Amari already at 20 points in the game, and we have a foul against the Hornets inside. The Suns will take it side out. It's going to be on Peterson, shoving off inside. Morris Peterson. So at the halfway point of the 3rd quarter, Suns will inbound. Stoudemire with 20 points and 9 rebounds. And Stoudemire this year, when he has a 20-10 game, Eddie, they are 16-1.
There you go.
Nash, beautifully done. Right now, Chris Paul is seeing Nash in a different gear.
Well, again, I thought Steve should come out and be more offensive-minded right now. I mean, you know, it's a lot of points that's not on the floor for them, you know, with the subtraction of Sean Marion, and Shaq is not on the floor yet.
Steve now with a double-double, his 32nd of the year, 13 points, 10 assists. Out to Paul. So Nash in the second half has really come out, and Paul, long three. That might be just a little frustration right now by Paul. There's Stojakovic stripped, and we're going to have a foul. Bell running by, didn't quite get away with it. But in this quarter, Steve Nash has stepped up big time for the Suns.
Yeah, and you know, you expected him to take charge. Paul had a great first half, and Steve Nash has come out very offensive-minded, and the Suns find themselves in the lead.
You can see the Suns are up-tempo in the way they like to play. 18 fast break points. So 20-10, they've outscored New Orleans here in the third quarter. And as an end result, they have a 2-point lead. Paul picked up by Barbosa. Paul gets it off now to Peterson, the southpaw, to Stojakovic. Boy, that's a tough shot, too.
You know, but Raja made a mistake. He stuck his hand in trying to go for the steal, and then the reverse pivot of a jump shooter will make you pay every time.
Stojakovic now with 14 points in the game. He's 6 of 9. Came in here averaging 15.5 a game. Stoudemire off the glass, no. Stojakovic comes down with it. Chris Paul creating as only he can. We are tied for the 10th time in this game tonight. These two clubs have become really fierce opponents this season. West misses. Nash comes down with it. Nash quickly to the other end. He'll pull up three. Count it. Nash proud on the three-point zone. And Fulton Holmes writes another $150 check to Suns Charities.
Arguably the best guy in the league at pulling up for a three off the dribble. That is an extremely difficult shot.
Nash has really stepped up here in the third quarter. 16 points here to call a foul on Brian Skinner. Pushing off on David West. This is the pull-up you were talking about, Eddie.
Yeah, Gary. I mean, most guys like to just, you know, get their feet set and shoot. Steve runs into the shot, and that's very difficult because you have to elevate and get good balance, because the three is as difficult as it is already. You don't want to be leaning or falling forward or falling away. He just gets it off with great rhythm.
That is in the true sense that he's shooting in rhythm, isn't it?
Yep.
Here is Pargo's come in, and he's been in rhythm. Had to launch that as the shot clock was expiring. Off it comes down to Barbosa. Barbosa had 12 points in 16 minutes in the first half. Feeds it to Skinner. Skinner digs it out. Can't get it to go. West comes down to the rebound.
Well, that's why the left hand comes into play. Brian wanted to shoot with the right, and he didn't get a good angle.
Ball comes down, and as Nash would do, finishes in a hurry. Paul now with 23 points, Nash with 16. This matchup has been something special. The two All-Stars at the point guard spot. Barbosa tipped away. Paul on the breakout. He'll go to the glass. Barbosa crashes into Paul. They're going to call a foul on Barbosa. Paul kind of slow getting up.
Well, they ended up not giving up on the play, and you have to applaud him for that. Now, Chris Paul gets the brunt of it, but that's the natural part of what you're going to get when you're trying to get a deuce on a breakaway. And well, it looked like that was really not a foul on the play. Chris Paul basically missed the layup.
Well, that's right. There's no foul. And Paul can't believe it. And the Suns have the basketball. So Barbosa able to keep that layup from occurring. Surprising. Nash off to Amari. He'll back it out. So Barbosa with the hustle to pay a dividend. Here's Amari leaving it short. West with yet another rebound. West with 8 tonight. 79-78 New Orleans. Hard to believe this team has lost 3 in a row the way they're playing tonight. That's going to be a foul inside as Eli was tangled up with Barbosa. And Eli will be whistled for the foul. And we're going to have a timeout. We come back. Grant Hill in now with Skinner, Diaw, Barbosa, and Rajabel. You can see the Hornets have turned it over 5 times. We've had 10 ties, 5 lead changes. Right now the Hornets by 1. Diaw backing in. West shutting down there. Grant Hill, face-up jumper, he got it. Suns back on top.
It's going to be a welcome sight to see Grant Hill continually get himself back in rhythm. I mean, here's a guy that was not taking a lot of shots to average 15, 16 points a game.
Yep. And as he said, I need to get some of the rust off, get my rhythm back after the appendectomy, and it's starting to look that way now. Stojakovic backing in. DePaul, long three. Rebound tipped out. Skinner stays with it. It's going to be off of Skinner, but good hustle as he was battling David West for that rebound. At the 2:11 mark now, the Hornets will inbound with 24 on the shot clock.
And Brian Skinner's going to really have to step up his rebounding inside. I mean, you know, Amari's not on the floor, so he's going to have to command that paint.
Stojakovic with Roger Bell under his chin. Here's Bell now switching out on Paul. 2 minutes to go in the third. Stojakovic trying to get rid of Grant Hill. Hill, tough defense. Stojakovic up and under. And I'm not sure. Hill thought he might have traveled on that play.
That was a good move.
81-80. Hornets. Hill loses the handle. Paul back the other way. 3-on-1. Stojakovic. This time Barbosa can't stop it.
Notice Paul gave it to the guy that has the hot hand. I mean, he could have gave it up to Pargo. It doesn't matter. He wants to continue to feed a guy that he knows in the fourth quarter could really help.
That's just what Steve Nash does. Isn't that remarkable?
Exactly.
And that's who his mentor is, if you will. That's going to be a travel on Boris Diaw. And the Suns now have turned it over 10 times in this game and find themselves down by 3. Mike D'Antoni with a new addition coming soon. And Shaquille O'Neal, but they're going to have to find a way to win a few before Shaq is in uniform.
Yeah, and a win here will really do great for their confidence. No doubt about it. But they better find a way to get a hand up on Chris Paul. I mean, he's getting shots wide open.
6-0 run now by the Hornets, up by 5. 1:05 to go in the third. Roger Bell from the corner. Bell has taken 5 shots, hit 3. Diaw out to Hill. Good ball movement. Barbosa a 3, and that's going to be 3 free throws because Pargo fouled him outside the line.
Byron Scott just looks up to the sky. I mean, because, you know, one thing you don't want to happen, although the Suns are a team that will force you to maybe foul every now and then, but you never want to foul a guy shooting a 3-point shot. I mean, the percentages say that it's in your favor anyway. But then again, Pargo fouls.
Pargo over here discussing it with the officials along with his coach Byron Scott. Barbosa at the line, and we will remind you that Phoenix Suns basketball is presented by Casino Arizona. Barbosa at the start of the night shooting 78%. Strawberry is going to come in again. He played well in the first half. He had 6 points in 6 minutes.
It's funny how you can earn more playing time by just playing well in the first half, huh?
You know what? It does get the attention of the coaches, doesn't it? Boy, Barbosa's not hitting these clean, but he got the bounce on both of the first 2 and got them.
Well, if you remember early in the year, he was really struggling from the free throw line. But, you know, I just believe he would start to move on up, and he has. He's gotten more consistent.
14 points now for LB as he'll try to cut this to 2 and doesn't.
As soon as I say that, he misses.
Well, he had the shooter's bounce on the first 2. Just pressed his luck too much. 50 seconds left to go in the third. Strawberry coming out on Paul. Now, Strawberry, be interesting to see how he does against Chris Paul. I mean, he can play some D. Whoa. Paul, the crossover. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Pargo from the corner. And the rebound cleared by Barbosa. 30 seconds left in the quarter. Barbosa just keeps going. And then that ball is thrown away, or yes, Barbosa claimed it was touched by Pargo. Mike D'Antoni wants a reversal on this. And we're going to have a discussion. They're going to give it to the Suns.
Yeah, but, you know, Leandro just got too deep. And that's a part of his game he has to continue to get better at. I mean, you know, you have to make a decision to pass before you get to the rim, not when you get there, because it cuts your angle down and it's hard to find a teammate.
Well, that's where your speed doesn't help you. You got too deep. Now, we've got evidently Grant Hill has a cut, and they're going to have to stop play as the blood rule comes into effect. There you can see it as Aaron Nelson will come over. One of the things that was very interesting in the press conference today was how they applauded the trainers and the doctors for the Suns. And one of the reasons that they feel they can get Shaquille O'Neal back physically to be the power that he has been in the years past. Coach Mike D'Antoni's wardrobe is from the Clothery at the Biltmore Fashion Park, 24th Street and Camelback. And Eddie, I like your outfit tonight.
Well, same with you. I mean, you got the pinstripe going. Oh, man.
I tell you, you're my fashion hero. If I could only come close to looking as good as you do, I might get a job as a model. You never know.
Well, you might get me a job as a model if you continue to pump me up like that.
Here we go. 25 seconds left in the third. Hornets up by 3 with the basketball is Barbosa. Leandro finds an opening. Hill tips it out, but Paul has it, and they'll go for the last shot of the quarter. So the Suns started the third quarter well, but fighting right back the Hornets. Here is Paul ducking inside. Boy, is he quick. I mean, he is quick. 29 points for Paul. Strawberry, count if it goes, and it was close. So the Suns outscore the Hornets 27-24.
Hands ready to pass it. He finds Grant Hill.
Eyes up, as Eddie was talking about earlier. Barbosa ducks inside, gets it off to Brian Skinner. Skinner could not corral it. It'll go over now to the Hornets.
Well, you hit him in the hands.
Sometimes that's the worst place, right?
Yep.
87-82. New Orleans with the lead, trying to go 3-0 against the Suns. They meet again in New Orleans on February 27th. Here's Bobby Jackson starting the fourth quarter, gets it out to Pargo, so Chris Paul getting a breather. Pargo not able to get that. Rebound cleared by Ryan Bowen, and he is fouled. You know, the previous game here, Eddie, Chris Paul played all 48 minutes. But not tonight.
No, and especially without Chandler. I mean, you know, it just didn't make any sense. I mean, Chandler really gets him open. It separates the defense, and they're going to have to rest him. Byron Scott knows. I mean, it's going to be a relentless effort here in the fourth quarter.
Suns want to find a way to beat this Hornets team for the first time. You can see the Hornets 11 offensive rebounds. Off it comes now to Barbosa. Suns trying to cut into this 5-point lead out to Diaw. Diaw off to Skinner. Skinner moves in closer against Eli. I think Eli got a piece of it.
Well, you don't need that. I mean, Brian Skinner, you know, you shoot that shot when you're standing still. If you have to put the ball on the floor, then you look to pass to somebody.
Bobby Jackson to 3, and that is a very damaging 3 right now.
Well, it is, and Suns have to, you know, understand who's going to get the look, who's going to get the shots. And right now, rhythm not there offensively.
Jackson earlier this year hit 7 threes in a game, and he makes it an 8-point game. As Stoudemire and Nash are going to come in right away. Mike D'Antoni's going to get the 2 big guys, the 2 All-Stars in as Barbosa hits.
Well, I think that forces Byron Scott to bring Paul back, you know, and so Chris Paul really hasn't gotten any rest. So I think it's a good move.
Chris Paul has been deadly in the fourth quarter in the first 2 games against the Suns, and so Byron Scott giving him a break to get ready for crunch time. Pargo spin move, and you know that's a very tough shot when you do that much dribbling the ball.
That was great defense. Strawberry, that was a heck of a shot by Pargo.
I know it. I mean, that was a man-on-man defense, but he still hit it. Diaw outside, got it.
That's it.
If he could shoot that with consistency, Eddie, how good would that be?
Well, he can. If he just shoots it and don't hesitate. I mean, that's where he gets himself in trouble.
Rebound is cleared by Grant Hill. Diaw's in double figures with 10 points now. 5 assists and 5 rebounds. 9:25 to go. Suns down 92-86. Grant Hill moves in, brings it out. Strawberry's going to try a 3. Yes! The rookie!
That's it. You don't understand how much confidence shot through his body that make.
And you don't think Mike D'Antoni won't remember that shot?
No, he will.
And it comes now to West. Diaw on him. West double teamed. Strawberry helping out on the play. 7 to shoot. Out to Jackson. Tough defense by the Suns. 3. Jackson long 3. And the defense really paid off. Skinner then boxed out well. And they call a foul on Eli, who was hanging on to it. Oh, that's right. Oh, look at Diaw now. He's hit 2 in a row. So Diaw stepping up big here. 14 points now for Boris. Talked about Boris as the starter. He's so much more effective. Started his 14th game tonight. Suns on a 7-0 run. They're within 1. David West takes Diao inside. A lot of contact as West able to finish.
Yeah.
And West is now with 16.
Yeah, and you're Boris, you can't act on that. I mean, you know, they're not going to give you that call.
Diao looking for 3 in a row, and all of a sudden, Boris Diaw's in the zone.
But notice, when he catches Gary and just goes up to shoot it, he's pure. When he hesitates is when his shot falls awry, and that's key with Boris Diaw.
Phil Weber, one of the assistants for the Suns, feels that Boris can be a very good shooter, and we've seen now 3 in a row. Paul pulls up. Strawberry's doing a nice job on him defensively.
Yes, he is.
Out it comes to Paul. Long 3, as that will count. A desperation three-pointer, and it is a big one.
Wow.
97-93. Paul now with 32 points of the game. He had a high this year of 43 earlier. Paul is 4 of 8 behind the line. Diaw backing in on Jackson. He's got to like this matchup. Jackson can't handle him. He commits the foul.
Jackson looked at him like, man, what are you doing? Well, he's trying to post you up, mouse. That's what he's trying to do.
Look at this. 2 games this season against the Suns in the fourth quarter. 11.5 points, shooting 60%. He had 14 in the fourth quarter in the last game. Strawberry comes out. A nice round of applause. He did a very good job. Hit a 3 and played some good defense.
He really did. And, you know, it really jumps out when Paul throws down a 3 that deep. But you know what? You have to give him that shot.
Barbosa inside. And Amari following. And Stoudemire with 22 points. It's a 2-point game.
You saw Amari moving in for that finish. That was like a pass. And that's why you always throw it up there instead of trying to make a tough pass. Because the big guy can come clean up.
Suns have cut it to 2. Inside 7 to go. Paul pulls up. Got it. Oh, man.
Can't go
See
under.
something?
And if Leandro goes under, he's got to hurry up and get there. Boris is going to give him help, but he's got to get to him in a hurry.
Nash tries to answer the 3 at the other end. Armstrong comes down with the rebound. It's hard to believe in the last game, Chris Paul had 6 points. Tonight, he has 34, and we've got a ways to go. You can see in this game, both teams shooting well. Paul again, you just exasperated,
yeah,
Eddie.
well, because Leandro is going too deep, and when he's trying to get back to him, his own man is setting the screen.
Jackson reaches in. Nash got by him, and so Bobby Jackson in the defensive mode of backpedaling along with Stojakovic, both of them. So it'll be side out to the Suns. Foul on Jackson. 13 on the shot clock. Amari's going to wheel in now. He's got West on him, backing down on him. Out to Diaw. Diaw aggressively inside. And Boris Diaw has a coming out game here tonight.
I don't know what key you turn. I don't know. I don't know if it's a pregame meal. I have no clue. But whatever it is, boys, please just write it down and keep it because he is playing well.
Bottle it, right? As Paul is going to be fouled. But Diesel, the bigger Aristotle. And I'm going to tell you something, people are already getting excited, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, all of a sudden, the Suns are one of the most watched teams on the road anyway, and one of the most attacked teams at the hotel in terms of autographs. Can you imagine what it's going to be like on the road?
And Armstrong tries to go inside and cannot, as that is rejected. 99-97 out to Nash. 5.5 minutes to go. The Suns trying to keep the best record in the West. They come in here at 34-14. The Hornets right behind them at 32-15. That ball got away. Nash and Diaw not on the same page. Paul goes inside, and he's going to draw the foul.
Well, you know, the Suns aren't not organized to counter the attack of the Hornets on the fast break. I mean, it's always you know, you got a guy in front, guy in back. You stop the basketball, and Boris Diaw did not stop the ball up high, and that allowed Paul to get to the rim. And then Amari Stoudemire just quick off of his feet.
Yep. And at the start of the night, Stoudemire averaging 2.31 blocks, 6th in the league, and he's got 3 tonight. For television's best in-depth weekly coverage and exclusive access to their Phoenix Suns as they battle for the NBA title, be sure to check out the Suns Insider every Monday night at 6:30, 10 p.m. Only on FSN Arizona. The last foul was on Nash. His second of the night. They don't get both free throws. Here's Nash with Pargo, who's come back into the ball game. Pargo playing a crunch time. He's earned some playing time. Nash kicks it out to Diaw. Diaw to the hole. Oh, we have not seen this Boris Diaw before.
No, I thought he got a hit. I thought he got a hit there and should have got an and one on the play. And Suns right now doing a very good job defensively here. They need a stop.
20 points for Diaw. His season high is 21. They've got a moving screen foul on David West. Watch this effort by Boris Diaw inside.
Well, you know, sometimes pressure makes you step up. You know, without Sean Marion now, Boris Diaw knows he is going to be heavily counted on.
Nash, three ball. That would have given the Suns a lead. Down by 1. 4.5 minutes to go in this game. Pargo trying to stay with Nash. He gets rubbed off on a screen by Diaw. 15 on the shot clock. Diaw kicks it outside. Deflected by Paul. Paul able to connect. As a slap down attempt by Roger Bell did not disturb his concentration.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm Boris Diaw and I got a guy like Pargo, you just got to take him and score. Forget about the three.
Nash again with the three. This time he's got it. Big three. And the Suns have tied it up at 102.
Now, that three is okay. But, you know, Boris, I think, is going to play a huge role the last 4 minutes. The Hornets are countering the switch. And they will put a guy on Boris. He has to make them pay.
11th tie, you can see both teams are 8 of 17 behind the line. We're deadlocked. What a game this has been. 3:47 left to go. Paul with Amari coming out on him, and he doesn't get the bounce. Diaw with the rebound. Nash to Barbosa. He is blocked by David West.
Yes.
Barbosa hits the deck. Pargo the other way.
Should have went with the right hand. And the right hand would have probably got him to the free throw line.
I tell you, that was a piece of sterling defense by West. Watch this.
So when you attack a big guy and he has an angle like that, then you got to use your right hand, because then you go right at his shoulder, and a lot of times he's going to hit your lower arm, and that'll get you to the free throw line.
We're tied at 102. The Hornets now, looks like Paul has a cut. They're going to have another blood rule in effect. Paul will come to the near sideline to get that attended to. You know what's interesting, Eddie? If this game by any stretch of the imagination or chance goes into overtime, it doesn't bode well for the Suns. Do you realize that in 12 overtime games now in the last couple of years, the Hornets have won all of them?
Wow.
They are 3-0 this year. They were 7-0 last season.
Well, it's the reason last year they weren't blowing anybody out.
That's
so
right.
I mean, you know, a lot of times that's not a good stat per se, but they are used to playing extra minutes, and that is important.
So we're getting Paul all dressed up. They've stopped all the bleeding. And
I don't know if Terry Koffler, their trainer, is a good cut guy. All he did was wrap tape on him. I can do that.
look at the matchup between these two All-Stars. Paul getting the better of it scoring-wise. Nash from the assist department. Nash has turned it over 6 times. But it is a treat to watch these two guys on the same floor.
Yeah, well, Paul knew he had to score. I mean, you know, Tyson Chandler, he's losing some points, he's losing some rebounds, and you know, they got a groove early on. I think he realized the Suns weren't going to allow him to just distribute the ball to everybody, so he shot the ball.
15 seconds on the shot clock. Stojakovic measures and hits.
Yeah, the head fake. You know, the head fake did him in. He has one of the best head fakes in the game.
20 points for Stojakovic. Number 2 scorer for the Hornets tonight. Nash off to Diaw. Into the corner now to Roger Bell. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the game. 2-point lead for New Orleans. Here's Nash ducking in against Paul, and he just left him. That's Bobby Jackson, and he left. And we're tied at 104.
Was that pretty or what?
That was beautiful. 21 points now for Nash. Paul having a little difficulty as Barbosa took a swipe at him. Here's West going in against Amari with that strong left hand. Amari then able to come up, tip it outside. Beautifully done.
He stayed on the left hand, Gary. He recognized that West is all about faking one way and using the left. Amari stayed on it, and it caused him to miss the shot.
Good point, Eddie, as it comes into Diaw, and Paul fouls him. The Suns tonight from the free throw line are 10 of 13. Well,
People
this
don't realize
guy,
how big he is.
This guy tonight has impressed not only Shaquille O'Neal, but everybody here. 20 points, one off of his season high.
He has to stay aggressive, though, because he is going to continue to get this type of opportunity. Right
there he goes, and overshot at that time. Stojakovic on the defense.
Yeah, Peja hadn't blocked anything in his life. So, I mean, just go right at him. He can't even block out the sun.
104, we're even. 2:08 left to go. This has been one of the best games we've seen this year in the Valley of the Sun. Stojakovic against Barbosa. He's just unbelievable.
You gotta go. You gotta go. I'm telling you, 6'9". I mean, you're not gonna block it. If you let him face up on you with the relaxed rules now where a guy can't touch you, I mean, he's right at home.
He's 10 of 13. Stojakovic with 22. Nash goes in, just keeps going. And Amari cleans up inside.
Something to stop. I mean, they need a stop. They need to get a lead to feel confident about themselves. The Hornets have been able to get anything that they want, so expect Peja and Chris Paul to get the looks.
We're deadlocked again. Hargo backing out, thought about a shot. 8 on the shot clock.
Go.
Nash is on Stojakovic. Out to West, 5 on the shot clock. West trying to wheel in, and rebound is made by Stoudemire.
You know what, for a guy that doesn't get the attention and the respect for defense, he has stopped David West all by himself on 2 possessions. Huge.
And Amari has 24 points and 16 rebounds. The fans are on their feet as we approach a minute to go. 3 by Nash. Yes! Big triple by Steve Nash.
Huge. I mean, how many times do we see him do that?
109 to 106. Nash is 4 of 8 behind the line. 24 points. Paul back the other way. Ducks in. Count it, and he'll go to the line. Paul just moved in. Was not going to be denied. And he's got a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play.
I don't know. I mean, I think Leandro got it. I really do. But Paul has had a great game. He's gotten respect. But no, I changed my mind. He did not get there.
Just shows your flexibility, EJ.
Yeah, well, I'm honest. You know it. And, you know, but Leandro's had a tough time guarding. I mean, he's gotten stuck going behind screens. His own man has picked them off.
So 3-point plays, 1 by Nash, 1 by Paul. We're tied again.
I'd like to see if we can get a switch here and get Amari down low. That'd be great.
Nash going inside. They'd have 2 for 1 here as Nash hits. 111-109, and Nash right now has taken this team on his shoulders.
Well, Chris Paul, if you wonder, I know you're having a marvelous game, but it's a man that wears number 13 that has 2 MVPs, and you're trying to get one, and he is awakened, and he is not going to allow you to take this game.
Well, you expect him to play big in the big moments, and that's exactly what he's done here tonight. 26 points, 12 assists. Paul just as effective with 40 points.
Yeah, now the key here defensively for the Suns is, you know, and Leandro has to be careful. I mean, he cannot go under screens and try to recover. They're very good at blocking you off. But you got to believe Peja has the hot hand. He has the height advantage over Raja Bell, so you look for them to try to get him the basketball if Chris Paul cannot penetrate.
There are no fouls to give, Eddie, as we have now 40 seconds left in this game. Both teams with 1 full and a 20-second timeout. Stojakovic against Bell. Boy, the guy just doesn't miss.
No, he doesn't.
We're tied again.
He hasn't missed when healthy in his career.
So everybody's on their feet. Nash into the offensive end. There's about 3 seconds difference between the game and the shot clock. Suns have gone to overtime only once this year. They won that game.
Suns got to go.
Yeah, and Nash has it stripped. Look out.
Yeah, that just wasn't a good possession. That was just a lot of dribbling and really didn't get anything out of it.
And here's Paul trying to win the game. Paul pulls up, doesn't get it. Rebound Bell. 0.2 of a second left. And we're going to go to an overtime, it looks like. And I mentioned again, the Hornets, they win overtime games. They've won their last 12. The Suns would go only into their 2nd overtime this season. The Hornets are 3-0 in that department.
That was good defense on Steve. I mean, they really hemmed him in at the top of the key, but you look at Peja Stojakovic. He has been on fire run him off the screen, you give him an inch, he's 6'9". You're not going to block it. Roger Bell had no choice but to watch it bounce right in.
You know, he twice won the three-point shootout at the All-Star game. You can see why. Now, here's what they thought might be the game winner.
Well, good defense, though. Steve Nash played good defense. Stayed in front of him, got a hand up. That's all you asked for, and he missed the shot.
So they put a little more time on the clock. There's 0.8 of a second.
I think with 0.8 you can catch and shoot.
Yes, you can.
You know, you can catch and shoot the basketball. Now, what player on the Suns have the ability to catch and shoot it that quickly? Well, Steve Nash. I mean, you know, so they really don't have a lot of options. I think Amari Stoudemire might be your next guy that can actually really catch it and shoot it along with Leandro Barbosa. So now you have three guys out there that maybe you can try to get them the basketball in rhythm. But I would go to Amari Stoudemire because nobody expects him to get it. And I would try to maybe set something up for him to catch it quickly and get a shot off with his height and his ability maybe that he's going to get an open look because the defense is worried about Steve Nash.
New Orleans, this is their third stop on a three-game road trip. They've lost the first two, but they're trying somehow to steal one here as we have 0.8 of a second left. The Suns, as Eddie just pointed out, will get one crack at getting this game over.
You got to get somebody open, though. In order to catch it and shoot it with 0.8 left, you have to really be wide open. And so it's imperative that the Suns run a good, solid play here and don't commit an offensive foul.
Inbounding will be Grant Hill. And David West will be in front of him. Nash is on the baseline with Paul on him. If they go to Nash, Amari is picked up by Hilton Armstrong. Here we go. Into Amari, and that ball almost went in from the pass from the sideline, and we go to overtime.
Yeah, this wasn't long enough. I mean, that's a tough pass to make, but if it had been a little bit longer, Amari might have had a chance to dunk it in.
Amari Stoudemire and company will try to extend the Hornets' losing streak to 4. And as I've said twice, the Hornets love overtime. They don't know what it's like to lose in overtime.
Well, you know, Suns don't probably even know. You know, that's a good thing.
That's probably right.
I would be, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to really know if the Hornets know.
Only sportscasters that bring up that information, right, Eddie? Here we go now. Stoudemire will go up against David West, and the tip comes over to Bobby Jackson. So Jackson starts the overtime with Paul. They have West, Stojakovic, and Pargo. Interesting five out there for Byron Scott.
And Grant Hill's on ball.
And Grant Hill, starting five other than Barbosa, who's in there to start this overtime. Paul just rubbed him out of the play, and then Hill comes up with a rebound.
He is so good with the ball off the two-man game. He just worked Grant Hill deep enough we can get a 15-footer.
Out it comes now to Roger Bell. Bell with 8 points in the game. Off to Stoudemire with another double-double. Turnaround, yes! Stat connecting. 26.
I heard a guy on TV, I think the Jim Rome show. I don't know who he is, but I hope they fire him as a reporter. He said that Amari Stoudemire didn't have a 12 to 15-foot shot. I'm trying to figure out where did that guy watch him?
Well, he hasn't watched the Suns, obviously. Here is West backing in as West not able to get it. Stoudemire comes up with a rebound. Suns up by 2. We played a minute here in the fourth, or I should say in the overtime, as Nash backs it out. Nash picked up by Pargo. Feeds Amari. Nice catch by Amari. Brings it over to Roger Bell. Bell with a 3. No. Rebound cleared then by Paul.
Yeah, had to rush it. Suns haven't gotten many three-point opportunities lately, and that's why Roger Bell really didn't have great rhythm on that shot.
They are 9 of 19 behind the line tonight. Pargo looking over Stojakovic. He and Roger Bell having a tussle as Stojakovic goes in, rebounds his own, missed it. And rebounded by Hill. And that ball off the back of Roger Bell. He did not see the pass.
That's tough luck. That pass was to Steve Nash.
And there's West. Amari fouled him. Tough break for the Suns.
Well, you know why? I mean, this is a huge turnaround. Suns with another 4 points. They had a 3-on-1. I mean, that was numbers right there. The ball hits Roger Bell in the back of the head. And you see the numbers right there the Suns have.
Yep.
I mean, all of a sudden now it turns into an opportunity for the Hornets to take a 1-point lead. That is a 5-point turnaround, just like that.
West with a chance at a 3-point play and the lead for the Hornets. Russ has had a monster game again. 18 points, 11 rebounds. He's played 45 minutes tonight in this game. The 9th lead change in the game, and the Hornets have the 1-point lead. Nash into the offensive end. Pargo assigned to him here in this extra session. Nash goes baseline, and Hill, I don't know if he expected the pass or what happened, but the ball gets away. Turnover against the Suns. Hornets have it with a 1-point lead.
I think Grant thought that pass was to, I think, Roger Bell in the corner. He turned and let it go, and all of a sudden, Roger was not there.
Suns need a stop. Paul off to Stojakovic. And here he goes. He's human. He does miss once in a while.
Yeah, but he had a longer player on him, and that bothered him a little bit.
Nash back now. Suns trying to take the lead. Nash goes in. Count it. Pargo with the foul.
Was that quick or what? That was extremely quick. Pargo is still standing, and he's a little quick guy himself. But again, when you don't have great lateral movement, I don't care how big or how small you are, if you can't move sideways against that quickness, all you can do is reach, and a lot of times you're going to foul.
What a game, and to wrap it up after we're done will be Brad Steinke. Let's go out to the Paseo and join him.
Well, thanks, Gary. Yes, Suns and Hornets working overtime tonight. So, too, is Quest Suns Live. We'll be joined by Tom Chambers and Suns owner Robert Sarver. The Shaq Diesel eras begins right here in the Valley of the Sun. We'll talk about that, so stick around after this game.
All right. Thank you, Brad. 2-point lead now for Phoenix. 2:26 to go in overtime. Paul goes inside, pulls up, and gets it done. Paul now has a 42-point game.
He's as good as anybody I've seen on that two-man game. I'm talking about, I think the best in the league is Steve Nash. Chris Paul is right there. They're 1A and 1B.
Yep. As Nash brings it outside, Barbosa the three. No. Nash keeps it alive. Got it over to Roger Bell. So the Suns get another opportunity. Inside 2 minutes to go, tied at 116. Big screen by Amari. Nash tries to take advantage of it. Ball deflected. Picked up by Paul.
Back. You got to get back. Paul will make you pay.
Bounce pass inside to Pargo. And Paul, to go with his 42 points, now has 8 assists. Suns will call a timeout. Down by 2. The Hornets trying to go 3-0 against the Suns. Let's go back to that last turnover that eventually gave the Hornets the lead.
Yeah, well, you know, again, teams have been getting away with really coming down on Steve Nash's hands when he drives, but still, you have to get back and cover the basket, and no white shirt was around one of the smallest guys on the floor in Pargo, and they get an easy layup.
3 turnovers against the Suns in overtime, and you know, Nash was upset, and it's happened all year long, Eddie. He doesn't get those calls inside.
No, they don't give them to him for the most part, and you know, but all he has to do is just complain and let them know, and sooner or later he will start to get that call because you know he lives in the paint.
He's turned it over 9 times, but look at those other stats. 118, 116, and now looks like Grant Hill may be having a little blood problem again. So they're going to stop action while they'll retreat to Aaron Nelson, the trainer. So the Hornets up by 2. Team fouls, Suns have 1, none against the Hornets. Suns have a full and a 20. The Hornets have all their timeouts, 2 fulls and a 20. Stoudemire, by the way, with a season-high 18 rebounds tonight.
Huge. And defense has been huge as well. It's just been too much Chris Paul. I mean, that's been the difference in this basketball game.
You can see the 2 point guards have not disappointed. They have been, at times, spectacular. 118, 116. New Orleans, a minute 37. Pargo continues to guard Nash. They switch now. Stojakovic, they get it into Diaw, a mismatch against Pargo. Diaw jumps in, and he's tied it up.
Thank you. It's automatic. You don't pass it. Don't look to pass it. Don't even think about passing it. Take that mouse and punish him.
That's a season high now for Diaw, 22 points. We're tied at 118. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Got to get up on him.
Yeah, they do. Barbosa's got to extend the defense. He's thinking the same thing. Amari tips it out. They have 4 to shoot. 4 seconds for the Hornets.
Now, the one thing Andrew ought to do is not allow Paul to catch it. I know it's difficult, but make somebody else get the ball.
He's trying to hem him in. They can't, though. Paul's got it in 2 seconds. Paul, long three. And good defense. Diaw comes down with a rebound. The Suns now with a chance to take the lead. Nash looks over to Mike D'Antoni. Feed to Diaw. Brings it out to Rajabal. Diaw's going to go in again. Stojakovic's there. He overpassed it. He should have shot it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Pargo, he traveled with that, didn't he? Well, I guess not. They're going to give him the basket.
You got to shoot it, boys. I mean, you know, that situation, everybody saw you take the guy once, and you've done a great job at driving. You just can't decelerate. You have to continue to go to the bucket.
So Diaw regressing to what has been a problem all year long, passing up some shots. In it comes to Amari. He's got to make a move now. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Doesn't get it. Rebound tip. Diaw couldn't follow, and they're going to have to foul, and Barbosa fouls Jackson. And so with 15.8 seconds left, and the Hornets up by 2, and Pargo lost it. It looked to me like almost traveled with it, but he got the basket.
Well, because he lost it and he elevated, then you don't get to travel. His Suns have to foul right away. You just can't allow them to dribble time off the clock.
David West going to call a timeout. He didn't like what he was seeing for the inbound. So it's 15.8 seconds left to go in this overtime. The Hornets up by 2. This would be a tough one to lose. The 22nd timeout had played so well, Eddie.
Well, they've had some tough luck. I mean, the outlet pass that hits Roger Bell in the back of the head, they had a chance to go up 4. You know, Amari gets a good look there. And then Pargo loses control, but still able to get the ball up and in. I mean, everything has gone the Hornets' way.
Those turnovers have really hurt. 18 turnovers leading to 26 Hornets points.
That goes to show you that they're a very good defensive team. And that's not by accident. I mean, they have been very active. They've gotten their hand on the ball. Chris Paul on the perimeter has been very able to get off passes, pick off passes. He has a number of those. And you just have to foul now. I think you got to make this a long 15 seconds.
Jackson gets it into Pargo, and this will send him to the line. They're over the team foul limit here in overtime, and so Pargo will go to the line, stops the clock with 15.1 seconds. Now, Pargo this year, Eddie, has shot 83% from the free throw line, and last year he shot 85, so he's a very good free throw shooter.
Yeah, but in these situations, sometimes that average is overinflated. I like to know that he shoots with about a minute left on the clock. That's when it really gets different.
Don't forget, tomorrow 10 a.m. here in Phoenix, FSN Arizona will have the Shaquille O'Neal press conference live. We hope you'll be with us. So the first one makes it a 3-point game. This is a big free throw here. 2 trips down the floor if he gets this one. And he does. 4-point game, timeout Phoenix. Well, the Suns have done some very good things. The one thing, though, that's coming back to haunt them is the turnovers.
Yeah, and, you know, and sometimes unforced. You know, I want to pick on Boris on that one because he's had a great game.
Yep.
But in that situation, when you have it going offensively, no one's thinking about you passing the ball on that drive. And the deceleration got him in trouble. And then a tough pass that allowed the Hornets to go down and get the 2-point lead.
Suns will have the Sonics here at home Friday. Hornets go back home to meet the Grizzlies on Saturday. It's hard to believe that the Hornets have lost 3 games in a row the way they played tonight. I mean, they are one of the biggest surprises of the season, a rising threat. And they are going to be a team that in the playoffs will be awfully hard to take out.
They are, but when they see the Suns again, they're going to see a brick wall in their way next time.
That name is Shaquille O'Neal.
And that'll be the difference. Right now, Suns really don't need a 3. They need a quick 2 here and foul again. It's a lot of time when you're dealing with the foul situation and putting the team in the bonus.
Barbosa gets it into Amari. To Barbosa, he's going to try a 3. Got it! It's a 1-point game. 11.6 seconds, a foul, so Barbosa hit a very difficult 3. He has 19 points. It's not over.
Oh, he made that. I mean, he was basically sitting in a chair when he shot that. I mean, his body had the shape of him sitting in a chair. I mean, and he made that shot. I mean, that is difficult.
So now they have to send Pargo to the line again. He hit both of them just a moment ago, and for the night, that's his only 2. Now 3 of 3.
Well, Suns is a one-possession game.
Yep.
And so that's where they want to be. And then again, with 10-7 left, they call a timeout, get it at half court. You still don't have to really shoot a 3. I mean, the pressure is on the Hornets right now to make free throws.
Pargo rattles that one in. Timeout again as the Suns find themselves down with 10.7 seconds left to go. 124 to 121. And Mike D'Antoni trying to draw up what could be a shot that would send it into double overtime.
Yeah, well, again, like I said, you know, a quick 2 is fine, and foul them again. Hopefully don't foul Pargo. He seems to have his rhythm right now. But the key here is just to make sure you take care of the basketball. And you don't force a shot. I mean, if you take a 3 and you don't have it, then get rid of it. You have plenty of time. You know, it's not a rush situation here with 10.7 to go. Because if you knock down a 3, you tie the ball game.
So we come back with 10.7. Nash, last moment instructions from Mike D'Antoni as the Gorillas trying the best he can to help with this important three-point shot.
That's home team help.
Out it comes to Nash. 3 ball. Yes! Yes! We're tied again!
Don't foul. You don't foul. You watch Steve Nash. He ran right to Leandro Barbosa because Leandro, I think last year, committed a foul because he forgot what the score was. And you notice Steve Nash hit that shot and ran right to Leandro and said, don't foul.
We're tied at 124. Back-to-back threes. Barbosa and Nash.
Well, again, you know, if it's a possession to get yourself back in, the Suns are as good as anybody in doing that and knocking a shot